Thanks for joining us for the Bus Podcast. I got to get this out of the way first. So, full disclosure, I'm shooting several of these podcasts in one day, and I thought it'd be great if I'd at least change the top, right? Well, I get this white top on, and between that and the bald head, I thought there might be too much contrast for you at home, and that's why we have Stevie. So, we're trying out the gray background here to see how this turns out. Thanks for joining us. Bus transportation. If you drive anywhere in the United States right now, there are signs up everywhere for a shortage of bus drivers. It's real. We are experiencing it in this district. It is something that created a lot of stress this summer for Mrs. Manns and myself when we realized to meet all the needs that we had in the past with the I think at that point we were running 10 routes and our Taylor run, so 11 total routes, and we're 2 bus drivers short with no subs. Now, I think what people don't understand about the bus department is you have the routes, you have bus drivers, but just like anybody else, they get sick or they have a family engagement. And so like between Mrs. Manns, Mrs. Nagger, who's our transportation secretary, and then our mechanic, they're picking up these different routes to run. And you get spread really thin really fast, and then particularly you start throwing contests on in the afternoon or trips. Generally our trips during the day, we're able to kind of meet those just because we don't leave until the routes are done and are back before the afternoon. But it's a complicated process running a transportation department. I have a lot of respect for those that have done it in the past and those that are doing it now. Specifically, Ms. Manns has been a wonderful addition. So we looked at a lot of options. We looked at outsourcing. That is not a financially sound move for this district, and we will take every measure possible to avoid that because of the really heavy hit it is on your school budgets. Outsourcing a couple routes for us would have had an impact on other programs in this district. So the first thing that we did, that I asked Mrs. Manns to do, was to say, what can we do to streamline it? And she was able to streamline 2 bus routes out. So we're down to 8 routes. Plus the Taylor run, so 9 routes. The other thing we did is to start looking at paying staff that would be willing to pick up those routes and incorporating stipends for them. That was approved in August. We were able to fill a bus, basically a bus route and a half by doing that, which is good. And it does make a difference. If you're a teacher and you have a certain salary and you're able to drive an AM route, there's a nice stipend that can go on top of that towards your retirement, and we're hoping that will attract people in the future too to keep us moving forward. I will say this, if you're in our community and you're interested in keeping some of these programs active and alive for our kids, we need bus drivers. If you wanted to visit us on that, we'd love to hear it. I would tell you that I believe as we sit here today, we're in really good shape as the year goes on, but there's always those unexpected things. So I don't always feel comfortable with where we are with our bus thing. I feel like today, though, we've done the best we can. I would tell you long-term, too, is this. My mentality is always streamline as much as you can. However, you want to balance streamlining with quality service. This district has been very blessed for a long time to basically do door-to-door drops. We've had to revise that this year to make all this work, group kids together maybe in more pockets, and then to meet other groups at the entrance of their subdivisions with small numbers of kids getting there. That's not where we want to be. We want to be able to provide that great service for all our kids, but we also have to get kids to school. I can tell you a couple things right now. We have not fully maximized by law what we're able to do, and Mrs. Manns doesn't just make these decisions in a vacuum. She has several contacts to say, can we or can't we? Our hope is to continue to keep what we're doing right now and to have those bus routes filled by the staff that we have. But we also know that if we have to pare it down more, we could, and we have some other solutions laying out there as well. We've also purchased a program. It's not up and running completely yet. We're trying to get to know it, but to make sure we maximize and as efficient as we possibly can for a few $1,000s a year. We feel that's a great investment. And then more importantly, long term, even though we are streamlining in the bus department, there's some savings when you're talking about bus people. I want to put those savings back into paying those that drive our kids, and we're looking at all those options moving forward. The other thing that's been openly discussed in our board meetings is the use of a van to go to some of our outlying areas where you don't have to necessarily have the full bus CDL to drive. You can have the chauffeur's license. There are very strict Missouri regulations on that we're working through. Before we would do that, we'd make sure it could meet all our needs before we made a purchase and went that direction. But right now, we know we could pick up 6 kids, and max would be a 10-person van. We could go to those houses, pick those kids up, and knock a significant amount of time off of our routes if we were to look at something like that. My point today is this: if you're willing to help us with our busing, even if you could only take an afternoon route, we will entertain any way to compensate that as fairly as we possibly can. Whether you're a current employee, obviously we have that in place. If you're not, if you just do an AM route, let us know. If you just do a PM route, let us know. If you're just willing to drive some games, let us know. We're looking for anything and everything to keep that moving forward. And again, that's for our kids. We really appreciate it. On the flip side, we're looking to be as efficient as we possibly can in our bus department. We can't find a better partner around than Amy Mann. She's done a tremendous job between her and Jackie, just looking at everything we can or can't do. We're meeting all our needs right now. There's no doubt if we could use some help in the community, we would gladly accept it.